Hello, welcome to the first Pyjama Talk. And hi, that's me. I look happy right now, but in a few hours I will realize I lost all the records. So the video will be in intermediate quality. Just imagine you are back in 2006. Yeah, it's pretty interesting name, right? And well, what does it mean? My evil twin? We'll explain it. Yeah, that's right. I'm his evil twin from the parallel universe. As you can see, we do have high definition videos here. So what's about pyjamas? Pyjamas are several related types of clothing originating from the Indian subcontinent. The worldwide use of pyjamas outside of the subcontinent is the result of adoption by British colonists in India in the 18th and 19th centuries, and the British influence on the wider Western world during the Victorian era. Pyjamas have been regarded as essential indoors wear, or wear for the home, whether treated as day wear or night wear. You may ask, okay, but what are pyjama talks? As you may know, right now, corona virus is flying everywhere, and that is a bad thing in itself. But the most frustrating part of the modern time has become information. There are so many training videos, courses, books, Instagram beauty blogs, TikTok kids on the internet that your head can just explode. So that's why our show is designed so that you can put on your favorite pyjama, pour yourself a pint of strong ale, and relax for an hour from this noise. Enjoy. And our first guest today is Maxim Salnikov. Hi, Max.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the first episode of Pyjama Ton. I'm very good. How are you? How are you, Evgeny?
Good, nice, awesome, brilliant. Wow. I believe you don't need a fancy introduction, all these things that you're doing. But
why not?
But as my evil twin said, this show is made to relax and calm down. But not for you today, my friends, because I prepared challenges for you. And the first challenge is to talk about yourself and your interests, but with one plot twist. Just imagine you visiting your hometown and you have to explain what you're doing to your old grandma. And I don't have a wig or something like this, but I will pretend that for me, advocate is something is one that you hire not to go to jail. And
evangelist.
And it's pretty complicated word.
Evangelist.
Evangelist is something related to Jesus, right? So, Max, who are you? What are you doing?
Yes, I am neither advocate nor evangelist, actually. But I'm really, really close to these folks. So we all together work in the area which is developer relations. And yeah, I work for Microsoft in this area. My exact job title is developer engagement lead. What does it mean? What do I do exactly?
Yeah.
I'm here to make sure that every single developer in the world who would like to know something about how to build this great stuff is supported by all the information they need, all documentation, all proper resources, support from community, different kind of events. So they are fully equipped with everything. So they can just sit and implement anything in the world, whatever they want, whatever their manager will ask them to do. So I empower developers. We can phrase it like this.
How your just ordinary day looks like? So, like, what do you do?
Very different from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. Basically, me and my teammates, who are distributed over different countries in Western Europe, are taking care of many things. First, lots of calls and meetings with different people. Now everything is online. When it was possible, it was mix of in-person chats and online meetings. For example, I can have discussion with the organizers of some developer conference about supporting them, about finding the best option for us to join this event as partner or sponsor. At the same time, I can have a discussion with my peers from marketing department about how to find audience for this great education event we are going to deliver ourselves as Microsoft. Right after this, I could jump into the call with Microsoft MVPs to understand how can we support this or that community, for example, by introducing great technical speakers for this user group from MVPs or from Microsofties or just from passionate developers. Next, I can have a discussion with my teammates about some of the programs we are running on top of our activities. For example, we have a program called Azure Heroes, where we distribute pages to people to recognize, for example, folks who contribute a lot to community projects, to the documentation, who build impactful, interesting projects using cloud. So yes, and one single day, lots of activities. So sometimes it's really hard to keep focus on something, but yeah, this is all about priorities, setting priorities and connecting people.
And actually, so as a grandma, I would ask, like, so your day-to-day activity is just to talk with people, isn't it a bit boring?
It's not about only talking, of course. So before taking this role, I spent 20 plus years in web development, and I definitely don't want to get rid of my technical background. So I constantly do some experiments with web technologies. So maybe we'll say a couple of words about progressive web apps, where I'm most interested in. So I keep myself up to date on these web technologies, now on cloud technologies, and I build projects. So I deliver lots of technical sessions myself, and of course, to feel myself confident in front of hundreds or maybe thousands of developers when I'm on the stage, I have to maintain my my expertise, right? So yeah, I spend decent amount of time sitting and coding also, and I think that this is a good balance for me, because in my previous company or companies, I always did this mix. I was like more developer, but I did all this community and advocacy activities as a hobby, it became sort of full-time hobby for me. And yeah, I also organized lots of meetups and a couple of conferences. So switching role like this was very natural for me. Now I do this kind of stuff professionally, while still keep my personal projects related to community, and do the coding itself, the building, as more like in a relaxed manner. So I don't have sprints, I don't have board of tasks,
Duties.
duties,
quality assurance.
like, let's say, I'm in terms of coding, I'm my own manager, and sometimes I'm quite strict manager.
Well, the serious question from me. It looks like a dream job, because a lot of activities, a lot of traveling, not these days, but is it hard to get this job, or because it looks like a dream job?
For me, definitely dream job, but I cannot say for everyone, because yeah, I can easily imagine that far not every person is super comfortable with meeting, for example, 10 new people every single day to set up negotiations, to always be on front line, and I don't know, to have full schedule of events where you have to be very visible on the stage, if not speak, but introduce. So let's say for these kind of minded persons, this definitely a dream job, but it's definitely not for everyone. How to get this kind of position? I see that this developer relation departments are getting quite popularity among companies. So maybe some years ago they were mainly in really huge technology giants like Microsoft, Google, but now I see that more and more companies, they understand the importance of this kind of communication. You can have really cool developers, builders in the house, and you can build really awesome product. But the question is, are you good in explaining developers how to use this product, right? And we are not only talking about the documentation, but about something beyond this, right? So it's sort of marketing anyway, right? But it's very special marketing focused on very allergic to marketing audience, to us developers. I here I can speak for myself. I'm not big fan of this uncovered marketing messages. No, and the role of one of the roles of developer advocates is to convert this marketing-ish message to something cool for technical audience. And it's not about faking, it's not about like some unfair negotiations. Absolutely not. Because if you build a great technological product, you can build really cool and interesting stories for the developers around it, and this way you will get your audience. Maybe maybe it's just a very efficient way. So back to getting this role. Plenty of open positions, really many. And Microsoft is always hiring cloud advocates. I always see open positions. Google is hiring lots of people, for example, evangelists of web and mobile, and every large company, and dozens, hundreds of smaller ones.
So, but I have a tricky question. It's a bit controversial, because advocates and other talking heads on the stage, sometimes there is a bias against them. That again, all these advocates, they know nothing about real programming and real developing, because they just trying to sell you something. I don't know, Microsoft Azure or something like this.
Do you have non-tricky questions today?
One, it's about your name, so yeah, but you already answered it.
Yes, from time to time, I see these kind of discussions, for example, on Twitter. So, like, should the person who is doing this kind of activities, developer relations, be a very technical person? And my answer is, developer relations is a family of job titles, right? If you are on the stage presenting something technical, I believe it's quite okay, and maybe must have for you to have this technical background, right? Otherwise you will just not feel confident in front of people, and they will clearly see this. So I believe that majority of these people came from technical background, but not everyone, because again, to have this full engine working, we need not only folks who are creating articles, right, who are delivering technical sessions from the stage. We also need people who support these people, and they also work in developer relations. They also very close to technical audience, but they their responsibilities are different, and they are very good professionals in some other areas, just to support these people who are on the front line. So yeah, I understand this bias. I'm not supporting this, and
Of
yeah,
course.
my mantra is let's be nice. If this person on the stage, you see, if they delivered engaging and useful session, it's a good developer advocate. It's a good evangelist. So if they somehow invoked your interest to this project, and it's not an easy job, I'd say.
People or developers, it's different things. They think that it's like a side dish. Of course, you're going to, I don't know, steakhouse. You will order, of course, steak, and for
Mhm.
some people, steak is technical stuff. And side dish, I don't know, some salad. It's your ability to speak, your ability to present. But 2,000 years ago, for Rome or for ancient Greeks, it was not like this. Yeah, so I think that these days, right now, we can be the same. So, like a philosophers, like a Diogenes, we can sit in the barrel and think about technical stuff. I know that you're not only evangelist or advocate or just a cool Max, but also you are organizer of big events in Norway and all around the world. So what are they?
Yeah. Um, I organize some of meetups here in Oslo, where I live, and also I organize, let's say, 2.5 conferences.
Wow.
And it started very naturally for me when after I moved to Norway. So it was like 11 years ago, no, 10 years ago. I suddenly discovered meetups scene around me, and so I transited from like regular developer sitting in and coding and being in my own bubble to community person. So I started to visit these events. Then I decided, wow, I can help these folks to bring some good speakers for the next event. I started to organize events, started to speak at this event, and yeah, after all, I run here in Oslo meetup groups dedicated to front-end development in general, to Angular in particular, to PWAs in particular, and to mobile development in particular. So 4 active live user groups. After some time of running these smaller user groups, I decided to try my skill in organizing something like more prominent on top of these community initiatives, of course. And this is how conference called Mobile Era was born. It's let's say child of mobile meetup Oslo. Of course, when you organize meetups and especially conference, it's all about team of same craziness people around you. And I
Yeah,
was really
of
lucky
course.
to gather this core team, like full volunteers. It's non-profit organization. We do everything just for fun. So Mobile Era was my first conference, and we had 4 editions of Mobile Era so far. And my second conference gift is NGIX. This is gathering of Angular meetup organizers from Scandinavia. So I'm from Norway, and my friends from Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. We gathered all together, decided, okay, maybe our country is not that large to have separate conferences of Angular, but we are friends, and historically we are well connected. Let's have one conference for all Nordic countries. And yeah, it happened. NG Vikings. Last week we had it was fourth edition of NG Vikings, and obviously it was online one with lots of attendees. Every year we have best in class speakers in our agenda. One of the goals of NG Vikings is not only to invite like super famous people to speak at the conference. We also always give stage to new speakers, to folks who will just go and deliver their first ever technical session at the conference. This is in our DNA, we can say. And after every year of NG Vikings, we have like new great technical speakers on stage. So I see these folks, they are building their speaker career very, very swiftly after just jump start at NG Vikings.
So how about the mushrooms on NG Vikings? This kind of mushroom, the red one with the white dots on it.
NG Vikings mushroom. I don't have clear association in my mind.
Okay. I will edit this out. It was a joke about berserkers, and the ones who eat mushrooms and then start to writing a lot of React code or something unusual for NG Viking.
Never heard about this.
Okay, so and the closing this topic. So for you personally, not for the community, not for the company, for you personally, what is the main advantage of being public, of running community, of doing something like this?
Reason number one, I love to chat with people. Love to chat with many people, with my old good friends. Where in every event I have many new friends. Yeah, so I personally love this, and of course it works perfectly for building my network of very relevant connections for let's say for future events, right? So for example, I can help to pretty much every web meetup organizer to find speakers just by asking someone from my network. And I feel myself, again, for me, I really feel myself very good when I connect the dots. So folks know that they can ping Maxim if they need speaker for this topic or for this topic, and most likely I will help. So it's a good feeling of accomplishment. Yeah, so this is communication, fun, that's it. And just forgot to mention, of course, it improved my technical skills, right? So I listen to these sessions, I take part in program committee, so I'm always on cutting edge what happens in web development, in Angular in particular, and in mobile development also.
Let's jump into, that's one of the good skills for the advocate or someone who trying to explain some complicated things. One of the good skills is the ability to explain something simple. To spice things up, let's add a pinch of technical stuff in our show. And I know that you are a big fan of PWA, and like for your grandma or for many folks out there, it's just some strange combination of letters, just PWA. What actually, can you explain what is it, and for normal people?
Normal people, okay. Progressive web apps, PWA. This is idea or concept of building web applications the way for them to behave like the native ones. What do I mean? So
Max,
normally
what is native one? I
native
mean,
one.
yeah.
For example, on Windows system, something name.exe. You double click it. You have something in front of you. Let's call it information, right? For grandmas again. Yes, so we all used to this behavior, and it's quite different for, let's say, classical web thingies, right? You have to open browser, you have to make sure that you are connected to the internet. Maybe you just want to read absolutely the same information which you read before, but still you have to be connected. You have to enter this address, you have to do these unneeded actions. What if you just same double click on beautiful picture on your home screen or desktop, and you'll get your information regardless of the connection. And you can, for example, I don't know, open files straight from your hard disk and save files straight to your hard disk. And like, again, normal operations which we do many times using regular programs, not web-based ones, but based like native for desktop or native for mobile devices. Now it's all coming to web. Many of pieces already came, and more are coming.
So looks like this PWA is like a silver bullet for everyone, for every developer out there, because like you can create something that can be suitable for your browser and for your mobile device, or for your desktop, or for your, I don't know, Tesla car or whatever, for everything. But is it a silver bullet?
In ideal world, yes, but we live in a regular world, right?
Yeah.
So it's a silver bullet, but terms and conditions apply. In very small text, upside down somewhere in bottom left corner. And this terms and conditions, of course, about let's say fragmentation of what different platforms and what different browsers and what different versions of browsers can do in that sense. Of course, this is not just one single API. This is whole family or even families of APIs, and we never get to the point when every single device, every single browser on the planet is supporting every single feature of what we call PWA. No, but we know how to live in this non-ideal, and we use progressive enhancement idea. That's as simple as that.
PWA helps you with many things, but
Yeah.
what is the main problem with it? Why isn't everyone use it in the world? Like why every site, not every site in the world using PWA?
Maybe like reason number one. It might be useful and interesting and might add some extra value, far not for every project. So there are many things on web you just don't need to add this extra layer of complexity. And reason number two, it's extra layer of complexity after all. And in some cases, it's quite challenging to build this layer, and especially maybe to debug and to test this layer. And sometimes you can fail. Sometimes, let's say, you can deploy something that will be quite challenging to get rid of, thanks to nature of service worker. So let's say, finding good balance is important. So if you decide to go this way, you have to understand what you want to achieve exactly, and what kind of efforts are you ready to put into this. Because again, we go back to idea that there is no like strict definition. Though this is PWA and this is not PWA. I mean, there are some formal checklists, but I encourage people to start from exact thinking. What do I exactly need from my application? Maybe it's just fine if it only works offline, or like this piece is working offline, and I stop here, I'm good, and I don't want to learn any other APIs just because I don't need this. Or maybe I just want to have this app to be to receive push notifications. Maybe this is the only thing I need from PWA family. It's another story and another kind of effort you will put. Yeah, so let's find a balance, like everywhere in life it's important.
Really wise words. And like for everyone who is interested in PWA, we will add a link to the best talk for PWA for beginners.
I will not recommend myself, but I will definitely find very good link for you to start, and we'll put it here or here somewhere.
Or yeah, somewhere, like we don't know for
Maybe
sure.
this will fly around.
Yeah, it
around
will
my
fly
face.
around. Yeah. Let's talk about something completely different. Let's talk about countries. You know, something is telling me that you weren't born in Norway, right? Something like maybe your name and surname. So how long have you been living here, and what's the story behind your relocation to Norway?
Yes. Maybe my strong Slavic accent is
Hmm.
also saying for me that I'm originally from Russia. I moved here back to 10 years ago. Regular story. I moved here for work, and I saw that why not to try to relocate, and it was very. So actually, it was the same company. Where I worked in Russia, so it was just a relocation. Even same job title, same team, just different location. Yeah, I decided why not to try. I always can go back, and let's say still trying, and it's a good place for living with family, with kid. Yeah, so just a good place.
And you know, it's not like a relocation or going abroad podcast or whatever, but could you please name two things? One thing is the most unsatisfying and unpleasant thing about Norway, and other is opposite. Of course, it's the best thing in the world I've got in Norway.
Non-satisfying. Maybe I miss proper very hot summer. So I'm from city called Samara in Russia, which is central part of Russia, with quite hardcore winters and the summers. So maybe this is what I'd love to have in Norway. So a bit larger difference between seasons. Let's call it like this. And on the positive side, I think I will mention the general relaxed atmosphere. Maybe you can call it like this. The national sort of mantra is ikke stress, which we can translate as no stress. Literally, let's try to stay calm all the time. Let's try to be positive all the time, because yeah, why to be not nice to each other? Why to I don't know.
Make whip, not war.
Yes. So yeah, maybe it's very stress-free place to live, and I love this.
And you know, there are a couple of myths about Norway, and let's talk about them. And I prepared a couple of myths for you, and let's buzz them, or maybe it's true, or maybe not. So, the myth number one: Norway is like cold hell, full of trolls, ice, and snow. And actually, looking at your background, I can clearly say that it's not.
That's let's say Norway is different, right? And I live in Oslo, which is quite. It's not the southmost part of Norway, but quite close to south. There is no very serious winter at all. So especially compared to Russia, to Samara, let's say if we have, for example, -15 during winter, this is sort of wow, disaster, it's so cold, it's so cold. In Samara we could have -30, -35 like for a week in a row, right?
And we will eat ice cream, of course.
Yes, but of course, in northern part of Norway, yes, it's slightly different, and of course, especially if you go, for example, up to the mountains, yes, you can experience something real, something icy cold. Yeah, but yeah, you see that now it's summer and it's almost 10 p.m. in Norway. And by the way, I really love this semi-white nights here. Of course, it's not the same level as, for example, in St. Petersburg in Russia, but quite close. So, and it's beginning of June, and days will be longer and longer until June 22nd. And after all, we have really short period of time which we can call somehow night, right, during the summer. And yeah, so these days is a good sunny weather. So, and I'm in this t-shirt on my terrace. So no, it's not cold as hell. It's me.
Busted. Second myth is that senior developer, even like senior advocate, evangelist of something, can afford only 1 or 2 glasses of beer per month because everything is super expensive.
Well. It's let's say different. There are different perspectives on this. First, if you compare local salaries with salaries in Silicon Valley, of course, Norway is losing here, and no surprise, right? I believe pretty every country and city in the world is receiving less money than folks in Mountain View.
For sure.
On the other hand, what I see and what I feel, the difference between salaries is not that large. I mean, salaries of people from totally different areas, and you can so regardless of exact money you get here in Norway, in general, you will feel yourself more or less like medium place. I mean not lower, and it makes living in total in country more comfortable when you see that yeah, like people around you, they are quite similar to you. So I don't maybe this is what we call middle class, right? And it's core of Norwegian society. So again, regardless of absolute numbers of your salary, I believe you can afford more than 2 glasses of beer.
Let's talk numbers, you know.
Yeah.
So what is the price for a glass of beer just in regular pub or something like this?
I'm not the best person to answer. Actually, I do not drink alcohol at all, and by this I save some money. I save some money by living in Norway. I think it's around 70 krones, like regular beer in a regular place. That means it around let's say $7, something like this.
So, and what do you think? Yeah, I understand that, you know, that talking about salaries, it's a bit sensitive topic, but what do you think? What is the average like salary for maybe senior front-end developer, like just average number of money?
So here we measure salaries by years. So it's not about numbers you receive monthly. I believe we can reason about 700,000-800,000 of Norwegian crowns per year. Yes, and feel free to convert it to any
Wow, it's really complicated logic. Yeah, I will post.
Let it be your homework.
Yeah, it would be your homework.
Yes, and please take into consideration that from this amount you will pay at least 30% income tax, at least 30.
Wow, that's
and it's progressive. More you receive, more you pay in percents.
okay. So this myth is busted, but we need to do homework.
Yes.
And last one is the learning Norwegian is harder than learning Haskell. And for those who don't know what Haskell is, it's a like super complicated programming language. I will post a link to something to learn Haskell. So, do you speak Norwegian?
Yeah, я snakker norsk, men ikke så bra. What I told, yes, I speak Norwegian, but not that good. And actually, it's shame on me. Here, you can be a bit lazy in learning Norwegian, because if you work for international company, you will use English. And from what I experienced, let's say 99% of people I meet in Norway, they speak perfect English, like way, way better than mine. So you always feel comfortable just with the knowledge of English, and it makes you a bit lazy. About learning of Norwegian, it's not difficult at all. And again, if you speak English, it's a very good foundation for you to learn Norwegian. It's same language group, and you'll find many similar words with same roots from this old Roman language. Yeah, so it's myth, but again, shame on me that I do not speak Norwegian fluently. It's on my roadmap.
So myth is busted. I have one challenge for you, one last challenge for you, because like you're 10 years in Norway, it's a lot. So I have a quiz for you, and it's pretty complicated. And 5 rounds of questions, and you can play along with us. And the first question is, what is the combination of spices needed to make the traditional Christmas pepperkaker or gingerbread? A. Cardamom, cinnamon, pepper, and vanilla. B. Cloves, pepper, cinnamon, and ginger. And C. Anise seed, cinnamon, and ginger. So 3 options. Do you know what is a pepperkaker?
Yes, of course. This is famous pepper cookies, and I think it's A.
A. So it's cardamom, cinnamon, pepper, and vanilla. It's actually the right answer is, I don't know. I buy ready-made pre-made paper caker dough. Well, actually, the right answer is B: cloves, pepper, cinnamon, and ginger. But I think that most of the Norwegian people, they just buying pre-made dough in the supermarket because or maybe pre-made cookies. Okay, so 0-1. And our next question is, which of these suggestions does not mean tran in Norwegian? So what is tran? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's tran, maybe.
Tran.
A. It is a red berry, also known as a tranbær, cranberry in English. Option B. It is cod liver oil, which Norwegians drink a spoon daily in the winter. So like it's oil from the fish, and you drink it every day in cold winter. And C. It is a Norwegian island located in Nordland, where a famous music festival takes place, the Tran Festival.
Tran Festival. Trans Festival, right?
Yeah.
No, I know the answer. This is B, because I drink it myself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because it's a cod liver oil, and is it tasty?
No, it's awful.
No, awful.
Yeah.
But
as a liquid, it tastes exactly like cod liver, But there are, let's say, softer options in form of peels with, for example, lemon aroma, which is a bit nicer, but still you will get this aftertaste.
So actually, Tran is a cod smoothie.
Yeah, we can call it like this.
Norwegian hipsters drink fish smoothie because why not? Okay, next one is 1-1. Next one. What is considered most rude according to Norwegian social code? So what is the most rude thing that you can do? A, getting drunk in front of your boss. B, leaving a party without saying goodbye. And C, talking to a stranger sitting next to you on a bus.
It's C. It's C, definitely.
Wow, that's true, but why? So it's really rude to talk to someone sitting next to you on a bus?
First, I think it's kind of myth, at least in this interpretation, and I think this is about respecting your personal space, something like this. Maybe it's not that that regular when people come to, let's say, meet each other on streets when they don't know each other at all. So maybe this might look a bit awkward.
Алло. Господи. Okay, nice one. It's and score is 2-1. Yeah, it's really nice. And which of these words does not mean to be drunk in Norwegian? And it's really complicated for me. So A, drita.
Drita.
B, pairings.
Pærings.
And C, pafil.
Does
Påfyll.
not mean
to be drunk. So A, drita, B, pairings, and C, pefil.
Yeah, I believe it's pofil. Yeah, it's a challenging question for me as for non-drinker, but I imagine that this is B.
Pairings.
Yes.
And actually, an answer is pofil, because pofil means to get a refill of a drink. So if you drink coffee, you can ask for a refill your cup.
Okay, okay. Good to know.
And it's 2-2. And
I know what pofil is, but since this is about adding something extra, I thought maybe that means that you are not drunk and want to add something extra. But okay, good to know.
Yeah. To refill yourself with another glass of beer. And the last one, and the score is 2-2, so it's pretty
I'll do my
tight
best.
yet. In which situation it is normal to give someone a klem?
Klem.
And klem is a Norwegian hug. So
Yes.
in which situation it is normal? A, when you meet someone for the first time in a party or at work. B, when you leave the office to say goodbye to your colleagues, to hug everyone there. And C, when you are already feeling close enough to someone, almost intimate.
It's definitely C.
Yay, and that's true, and the score is 3-2. But what's the problem with the hug? Because I definitely know that you are a hug person.
Yes, I am. Maybe thanks to my Russian roots, I'm a hug person. I'm a handshake person. But again, it's about let's say we are here polite by default. So maybe it's about why to ever spend some efforts on showing your kindness, your politeness, if we know that we are such anyway, right? So why to express this? It's maybe something like an and plus again keeping your personal space and respecting personal space of people.
It's a good to know. So next time when I would be in Norway, I will not hug everyone there, except of you, Max, of course. Actually, that's it for today, because yeah, again, people's attention is a really limited resource. So thank you, Max, and next time when I see you, we definitely have to hug.
Totally, totally. Thank you very much, Evgeny. It was great pleasure. And thank you very much for everyone who's watching this and right until this moment, like of the very end of the show, who didn't turn off laptop or mobile phone after first couple of minutes. So yes.
And can you say bye in Norwegian?
Yes, sure. Ha det bra.
Ha det bra to each other. Bye bye.
Bye bye.